If you look in the mirror and you feel stuck, you're not quite skinny, you're not quite fat, just soft, then this video is for you. You've probably tried bulking and just ended up getting really fluffy, or you maybe tried dieting and cutting down, but you've ended up losing muscle. Now I can relate to this because I've been stuck in that same cycle as well, but there's actually a specific strategy that works for skinny fat guys, and I'm gonna break it down for you now, step by step. And just so you know whether or not you should actually listen to me, for the past 5 years, I've been helping skinny fat men lose their moobs and their love handles and swap it for abs and pecs. I've also spent several years myself wasting time and getting stuck in the cycle of jumping on a bulk, jumping on a cut, trying to get bigger and stronger, but achieving neither one. Chasing six packs by dropping down the calories massively, but just end up getting skinnier, and then jumping straight to the dirty bulks in hopes of gaining some size, but just end up gaining a bunch of body fat. I just end up looking soft, not lean, and certainly not muscular. And the reason for this is the skinny fat physique needs a very specific approach, which is not what most of the fitness influencers are telling you. So in this video, I'm going to show you what workout plans actually burn body fat whilst keeping muscle so that you can actually stick to it, the eating strategy that burns fat whilst supporting muscle growth, the review system that me and my clients use to keep you on track even when you're busy, and the one mindset shift that got me results that should help you too. Make sure you stick around to the end because this could save you months, if not years, maybe even 7 years, like I wasted myself. Now, before we jump straight into step 1, I do have a free nutritional blueprint that will help you get your calories and macros set up correctly and learn how to adjust them as you progress. And the reason I put this so early in the video is that's where 90% of men go wrong. So go ahead and download that and work out your numbers. Now that being said, let's get started with step 1, and that is drop the cardio and get stronger. Now, one of the biggest mistakes most skinny fat men make is they think that they need to do copious amounts of cardio in order to lose body fat. They do a bunch of fat burning classes, they go for several runs, maybe they do some HIIT circuits or wherever it may be. And there's not actually anything wrong with these workouts. They're absolutely fantastic for your health and your well-being, and they do help you manage your weight in terms of spending calories. But if this is the only exercise that you're following and you're not doing any resistance training, you're very much likely to lose muscle and end up just being a smaller version of skinny fat. Our bodies adapt to what we put it through, so we want to be getting stronger, not just fitter. Even if you're already lifting weights for 4 sets of 15 reps, that still isn't really ideal. Your key focus with your workouts should be to get stronger, aiming for things like compound lifts and accessory movements with some form of progressive overload each week. A simple pull push legs workout routine works really well for this because you're hitting each muscle group at least once per week, and it's very manageable around a busy schedule. Or maybe you're incredibly busy and you might only have time for 2 workouts, in which case an upper lower split would work really well for you. I wouldn't overcomplicate the training side of things. Yes, we all have different genetics and biomechanics, but the foundations are the same. Get stronger, increase overload so that your body holds onto lean mass and potentially gains it. So the key tips are focus on getting stronger, use cardio as the side instead of the main, and the best workout plan is the one that you can stick to consistently. Number 2, and this is a big one, and that is eat to recomp, not cut in bulk. Here's the truth: if you're skinny fat, neither cutting or bulking is ideal. You need to recomposition the body. That just means eating enough to support muscle growth while still losing body fat. If you drop your calories down too quickly, too low, too suddenly, you'll lose strength, size, and performance, which means you'll also lose muscle due to the decrease in performance and strength, again, making you a smaller version of skinny fat. But on the flip side, if you jump straight into a bulk with body fat that you dislike, all those areas are going to get worse over time, which will discourage you, it will stop your motivation, you kind of have to look worse to get better, and it might even cause you to jump between cuts and bulks and ultimately get nowhere, being stuck in that bro cycle. Not to mention, at the end of the bulk, you're going to have an even bigger cut that you need to do, and if you do that wrong, you might lose the muscle that you've gained. So how do we actually fix this? Now, we want to aim for a smaller calorie deficit so that we're not going catabolic and having crap performance in the gym. So I normally recommend somewhere between 300 and 500 calories below your maintenance. This means you'll keep more strength, more performance, and have the potential to still gain muscle whilst losing body fat. In fact, depending on your experience level, you still might gain a lot of muscle in that recomposition like my client Reese did in just 12 months. Now, to optimize this, we want to make sure that your protein is significantly high and that your calories aren't too low too soon. That way, it's kind of 2 birds, 1 stone. You'll lose body fat while still getting stronger and potentially gaining muscle. And as a bonus, if you're eating slightly higher calories than most people, it's a lot easier to be more flexible and stay on track for longer. And again, if you want to make sure that your numbers are correct, you can download the free nutritional blueprint in the bio. So the key tips here are: you want a small calorie deficit, you want to prioritize protein somewhere between 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. Don't be worried about carbs because you still need them to function. And I also recommend somewhere between 80% whole foods and 20% flexible foods. That way it's a little bit easier to stay on track. But the bottom line is, if the calories and macros are right, the quality of food, although it's still a factor, you're still going to get results regardless. Now, step 3 is very, very important if you don't want to hit a plateau or if you have hit a plateau, and that is the review system that keeps you on track even when you're busy. Now, it's all well and good talking about the best training program, the best nutrition protocol or meal plan, but if you can't actually stick to it, it's about as useful as a shower with no water. And even if you do stick to it and you keep doing the same thing for too long, nothing works forever. What got you here won't get you there, which means your plan and your strategy also needs to be adapting with you. Otherwise, you just hit a plateau and most likely fall off and go backwards. Now, to avoid hitting plateaus and to guarantee your progress every single week, it's important that you're tracking the important metrics. For me and my clients, that is our daily weight, daily food and macro intake, weekly progress photos, and all of the performance and workouts in the gym. Now, this just means that once per week, we can take a deep dive and review everything to make sure everything's on track. This means that if the scales drop, we can determine whether it's fat loss or muscle loss, if we're eating too little, too much, or if the workouts are starting to slow down and we need to change our approach. This just means that if something stops working, we have all the data and information to adjust it instead of just guessing, which, as you can tell, would tremendously speed up the results and progress. Not only that, it also boosts motivation because you can see everything working every single week, which just encourages you to keep pushing harder and reaching that next level. It just means that you're avoiding the guesswork and wasting time. You don't want to get 6 months down the line and realize that you haven't really made any progress and still wonder why. So the key tips: nothing works forever, so you need to make tweaks. If you win in the week, you're going to win the months. And if you can avoid the guesswork, it's going to be a hell of a lot faster, and you're going to remain focused and motivated the whole time because you can see your efforts paying off. The step 4, and this is quite an important thing, right? And not many people talk about your mindset when it comes to dieting. Everyone's looking for the plan, everyone's looking for the nutrition protocol. Not many people talk about what's going through your mind. The step 4 is the mindset shift that changes everything. And one of those mindset shifts is stop chasing the shortcuts. You're not looking for a 30-day transformation, a 6-second abs, or a 30-minute cock push-up workout routine. You're building a body that lasts, so you need to be thinking long-term. Most people quit because they don't see crazy transformations in 2 weeks. And to be honest with you, you're not really going to see any changes until 2-3 months in, and that's if you're doing it right. But your full transformation, that's going to take 6 to 12 months. And again, that's if things are spot on. Now, some of my clients have achieved their transformation within 12 weeks, like Matthew and like Ross. But some transformations are going to take 12 months, like Reese. And some might take even longer, like Alex. It truly is a journey. And to be honest with you, it's the journey that builds your confidence because of the person you have to become to get there. And trust me, once you get there, you'll never want to go back. So key points: expect 6 to 12 months for a real transformation. Embrace the process because this is where the real change happens physically and mentally. And if you're tracking your progress weekly, it's going to help you stay on track a lot longer and still see progress in the short term. So let's recap. We want to train for strength, not cardio. That way we're keeping muscle and losing body fat. We want to eat for a recomposition, not a bulk or cut. That way we're not losing muscle, but we are still losing body fat. We want to pay attention to the progress weekly to avoid plateaus because nothing will destroy your progress like a plateau. And then we want to shift your mindset to think for the long game because that's where the magic really happens. Now, I know this can feel quite overwhelming, especially with so much conflicting information out there, and you might be very busy and think to yourself, how am I supposed to get all this together? So if you want me to help you map this out and help you implement this, just like I did with Reese, like I did with Avi, like I did with Matt, like Shane, like Jordan, like Jeremy, like David, then you can click the link in the bio and we can jump on a call and we can get started. And if you want to learn the brutal truths of fixing skinny fat, just click here and watch that video.